This is not a motivational video. If you feel motivated after watching this, then that's on you. But basically, how to make your boring life epic. And I don't mean transforming it into epic. So if you're looking for some sort of, get on a private jet or something like that in like a short period of time quickly, I'm not the guy for that, for sure. But what I am going to be saying is something that's just changed my perspective on having a quote-unquote boring life. Right. Now, I used to think doing the same thing over and over again wasn't the greatest thing to do. It was boring because, if you do something over a period of time, the same thing over and over again, of course you're just going to be used to it, and at the end of the day you'll just be boring. You'll feel bored. That's the thing, you'll feel a sense of boredom from doing that activity. And if you go back to my very first video, it was published, it's called something like Why Every Day Feels the Same. And the thinking that I adopted then versus the thinking at the moment is very different. And that's why I really like making these videos, because I see within myself, but then you can follow with me in the journey where certain things that once were a big part of my life or my frame of mind are different now. Simply because through experience, through learning and challenges, I think having a boring life isn't the problem. I think the problem is what you're doing and the habits you have. You have to look at your life very objectively, because sometimes you're kind of trapped in day-to-day activities, day-to-day things, and you kind of fail to see the bigger picture. And if you fail to see the bigger picture, you might miss out on certain things that might actually be a detriment in your life, that doesn't actually add value, that brings growth. And when that happens, well, then you don't grow and you're not really making anything or any progress towards something greater that you desire. If I look back at last year, for like a good first half of the year, or maybe even the first 8 months, it was like literally the same thing, kind of the same routine that I was going through. Exactly the same thing. Wake up, go to work, come back, chill for a bit, sleep, do the same, and then wait for the weekend. The weekend comes along. I understood that like I had to be productive, but like my view was I have to get through these stuff first and then I can be productive. Whereas like I wasn't really maximizing all the hours I had, simply because my frame of mind wasn't fixed on growing. So I think once I realized, let me take a step away from things, and I literally looked at myself like I would look like I was playing a game. If you've ever played a game like, I don't know, Sims or GTA or whatever, you see that character and you go through things, missions, whatever, you realize like it starts off with nothing. Well, level 0 or whatever. And then as you acquire different skills, points, money, whatever the currency is, you can build upon that person or that character. And then you basically essentially want to level it up to an extent where, number one, it's unrecognizable from when it was at base, when you first started the game. And number two, you're just becoming very experienced as a player. Now take that same concept and apply it to you as a person. Literally just view yourself as a character within the world. And then once you start thinking that, you realize like, actually, I'm not happy with certain things. I'm not really happy with the direction I'm going in. And then you can start to realize the actions that you're doing at the moment that are actually taking you away, or taking power away from you, from actually reaching that future potential. When I literally graduated from university, I had no idea, and I, to some extent it's still the same. I don't really know like what it is, the kind of end goal, and I think that's okay. But what I do know is that it's more about the actual path, the journey, that's the most important aspect, because it's all about developing yourself every single day. It's like small things, just reflecting at yesterday and just seeing how you could do things better. Like honestly, being competitive with yourself is just, it's something that's transformed within my mind, but also you've seen in like, you can see it in reality when it happens.